And hello, welcome to Top Rope Spoilers for On the Ring Apron. This is our preview and prediction show for WWE Crown Jewel coming up this Saturday afternoon. I'm Steve.
My name is Kia.
And I'm Alyssa.
And we are On the Ring Apron bringing you our preview and prediction show. Thank you so much for joining us or, watching us later on if you're watching us on YouTube. But an opportunity for us to see another premium live event live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A lot of what people are questionable in terms of their feelings on that particular show sometimes, but we're gonna...
I'm one of those people.
Well, I think they've come a long way since Vince first started putting us there, so we will leave that to be what it is.
The positive side is we're seeing more women go over there.
The women are absolutely loading up the card this year, so we're going to see a fantastic show. It used to be women were lucky if they even got to stand on the stage, and now they're having full-blown matches at the event, so it's fantastic work for the women.
I remember hearing y'all talk about they used to just be able to walk up to the ramp if that.
And they had to get special permission to get that. I remember Rusev and Lana appearing in a match, and Lana was decked out in the entire Saudi Arabian garb, and she was. There was a very clear-cut piece of tape on the ramp of how far she was allowed to go, and I'm guessing there would have been repercussions if she had gone any further than that. It was very, very clear, and they had to, again, obey the customs of the fellow country. It's in winning Greece. How it works. But, we can sit here and discuss politics, but I hate politics, so, around this time next year we'll be voting again, so I'm going to really hate it then. But let's go ahead and get into our show. Again, this is for Crown Jewel coming up this Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. if you're out of the Pacific, 8 o'clock if you're lucky to be in Hawaii. So get up early because we're going to luckily be able to get that right before we start watching some football. Bama and LSU this weekend.
Woohoo!
As not as much important, Georgia, now number 2 in the country, as Ohio State jumps them in the latest polls. She's not happy about that, but at least they're in the bracket. Bama's got to fight their way back in.
He waited to tell me once we got on camera, knowing he had all day, all last weekend to tell me. He told me he waited.
Got to get in my shots where I can. I don't know if I can sit through another winter and early spring of Georgia winning another championship with her in the house. So
where's Bama sitting?
Call me when you have 17.
I said, where's Bama sitting?
8.
Okay.
We're getting there though. We got LSU this weekend.
Call me when you start sitting at number 1 again, okay?
Oh, don't underestimate Bama. They'll get there. Either way, I can tell we're about to open up a war here if we don't start. Speaking of which, Alyssa, put that back up. Let's thank our sponsor for this show. We have Sonic.
Give us free stuff.
Sonic, give us free stuff. We have chili cheese tater tots. We have drinks. We have giant 44-ounce drinks. Corn dogs. They were 50 cents yesterday. I don't know if anybody knows that for a Halloween deal. But they do 50-cent corn dogs, so that's always been our Halloween staple. The kids had fun, although Freeze came through Georgia, so it's kind of killed our trick-or-treating spirit. But we ended up still having a good Halloween, and now we enter into Thanksgiving season or Christmas season, depending upon how you view it.
I view Thanksgiving before Christmas. I don't know what's wrong with people putting Christmas before Thanksgiving, putting up lights and trees.
Mariah Carey is thawing as we speak, so she invented Christmas.
Yeah.
But let's move on into our show. You can see the scoreboard over on the left. As always, I'm just trying to stay ahead of the street sweepers. I'm way behind OTRA and Kia getting the last one of the last live event we did, so they hold the 1-point edge over Alyssa. But the OTRAs have caught up. They were behind by a good bit, but they've managed to make up the ground, and now we're pushing. They're the only side that hasn't won a championship in our 4 years of doing this up to this stage. But we'll go ahead and take that off the board here and see how that ends up turning out. We'll move into our first pick just added earlier today on the Kickoff show, which is going to open our show, as it will be a bitter rivalry continuing forward.
I see Sami Zayn, but is that JD McDonagh?
That is exactly who it is.
Oh, I'm not as blind as I thought I was.
What, the singer's right there?
It's right there. Good grief.
Okay, see what y'all didn't have to do.
Was you.
Exactly.
Sami Zayn returning back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He will battle against, I guess, the representative of the Judgment Day, because I don't know if he's technically a full member yet, in the form of JD McDonagh. Sami Zayn obviously has had his issues. Apparently, if you are a major staple, Sami just needs to just steer clear of them because it seems like he is determined to cause issues with any of the major stables. It was the Bloodline. He tried to join them for a little while. He was successful, then went to war with them, and now it seems like he is battling the Judgment Day, and now without the help of Kevin Owens, as he ultimately ended up being the person that was traded to SmackDown in the move that sent Jey Uso to Monday Night Raw. So he's finally had enough. JD McDonagh, on the other hand, trying to earn his way into the good graces of the Judgment Day, originally invited by Finn Balor, but Rhea and Damian not so quick to allow him passage into the group of darkness yet. So this may be his chance to shed some light on his want to be a part of the group. Sami, meanwhile, getting an opportunity to take out the person who seems to always be in the way whenever Sami and Kevin, when he was still here, had a chance to pick up a big win. So they're going to open up the show. This is no doubt going to get the crowd fired up very early in the match. So, Kia, you're ahead, so we will let you start off with the commentary.
Honestly, I feel like JD has more than proven his loyalty to this group. Every time they need help, they don't even have to ask. He's just there. He shows up. He helps. He assists in any way he can. He's taken the ish end of the stick from a lot of the people in Judgment Day, and I hate that for him. But he'd be a perfect addition, knowing his background and knowing his history and knowing what type of sadistic individual he can be when it comes to fighting, when it comes to wrestling in the ring. There is no better person, honestly. As far as Sami, I don't know what to say for Sami. Sami, I give him all the credit in the world. Like you said, he joined the Bloodline, he faced the Bloodline, he was in the Bloodline, now he's out of the Bloodline, now it's just da-da-da. Now he's going up against the Judgment Day. The next thing you know, he's going to be in the Judgment Day. That's just me.
Is this the direction? Is he gonna dye his beard purple and everything else? I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be so far fetched if it wasn't so unbelievable. But you know how it works in WWE. I agree. It seems like Sami continues to be the one who determines to fight the good fight, even if he knows he's fighting it by himself or with only maybe one or two other people helping. But he feels like he can see. And you figure if all people, him and Jey Uso, would be the two people that would probably know it the best, because they're the ones who watched as the Bloodline literally took over WWE, and now it's almost like their life's in rewind as they're watching the Judgment Day do the exact same thing, holding most of the gold in WWE. They're even invading NXT, which with the exception of a 1 week period with Solo Sikoa, even the Bloodline didn't do. But now you've got them running, matches down in NXT now as well. So you look at the situation and you think this is kind of that first salvo that Sami's got to take in order to be able to really shut down Judgment Day, starting from the outside and working your way in.
Yeah. I was supposed to say, I really like the, comparison you made yesterday to Sami being to the Bloodline like JD is being to Judgment Day. You know what you're saying? I saw that and I was like, dang, you really do be out here just taking these shots for these folks.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, you saw that story even when they did, the trial of Sami's, the tribal trial. They had, Sami showing the evidence that he was taking bullet after bullet after bullet for the Bloodline. And now here JD, for no guarantee that he's going to even be in the group, is essentially doing the same thing for Judgment Day.
Let's go ahead and just kind of rewind that. You mean Jay was showing the evidence of how he took bullet after bullet after bullet. Everybody else in Bloodline's like, what you done? You can't prove yourself? And here come good old Jay, main event Jay, showing evidence Exhibit A, B, C, and D. That's your dog for real, Sami, for real. Woof! And yeet!
Yeet!
Well, that was him and Jimmy, but still.
Yeah. Close enough.
Close enough.
But, this is definitely going to be a match was put in here to get the crowd hyped. It allows for for a reason for everybody to be able to flip on the show a little earlier. You're going up against college football. You're going up against an earlier crowd, although I will say that the whole addition of doing these international ones in Europe and in Saudi Arabia, honestly, I like them because I like the idea of being up at 12 or 1 o'clock and already you're getting into wrestling. Go ahead and get it started right from breakfast and early lunchtime. Get your lunch bought and then let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say you live throughout the rest of the day on that.
Exactly. It works out well for us.
I'm going
let's
to be
move-
at work at this time.
Aw, just like you were for the last one.
The
nerve of the word.
This together.
She's there's so many things she's piecing together here as we go through all of this. So we'll let her get a sip of her coffee as we enter the final minute. It's time to do our predictions. Kia, you've got the lead. I will say I didn't even look at the community page, which is where the OTRAs can make their picks, by the way, on YouTube. So check out our community page. We're on all the social medias. It's listed down there in the bottom right-hand corner. So follow us everywhere. But Kia, you've got the lead. So which way you leaning on this one?
So I like both guys. I really do, and I could see it going either or. I really can. I feel like JD for some reason has he's Irish, of course. He has a plan for everything. He is going to actually come out on top, and this will be his hopefully final. I've earned my way into the group. So I'm
passing the final test.
The torch, passing the final test. It's gonna be JD. Nothing against Sami. Sami, you're good. I love you. You're great. You actually are on my radar. You're actually sitting at number 1 in my books right now, and that's saying a lot.
So she used up all of our time, so we'll have to go fast. That's okay. We get to talk on the next one.
Okay.
But you're second. So who you got?
I also like JD to go ahead and take it. I think he's been taking a lot of L's outside of the ring. So I feel like this is where he'll prove himself. This will be that final he can do it. All right, let's go.
Gotcha. So you're taking JD as well?
Yeah.
All right. I'll be the one that's going to go opposite on this one. I'm going to go Sami Zayn. I feel like, this is, especially with it being on the kickoff show, if you were going to have JD win, you have him win on the main show. But because it's the kickoff, you're trying to get the crowd hyped, and I'm not sure how much you do for that with a JD McDonagh win. No disrespect unless you're going to bring Rhea out early.
Exactly.
Which could very well happen. Don't be shocked if Rhea and Dominic don't make their appearance and get the crowd amped up and maybe, in a fighting amp instead of anything else. But I think the crowd will do well. I think they're going to fall very much behind Sami, as most crowds do. I like Sami Zayn in this one.
That's a good point. Okay.
And who told Dominic to go back to, prison yard clothes?
Stop it. I think that was for Halloween.
I think that was for the Halloween theme. I would agree with that. But still, it worked out well. I just want to know if Mommy does house calls or house arrests. But we'll leave that where it is and move on forward. Oh, please, y'all wouldn't mind getting arrested too. Don't
come on.
come on to the house. But let's move into the main card, and we're going to open up with what will be the first of 5 championship matches. This one essentially has been hyped up completely through social media, and it will be off of SmackDown for the United States Championship. That will be to Kia's right, your left from your perspective. She thinks that one's heavy. Wait till she picks up the other one. Because we got some new additions showing up on the show this week. But we'll go ahead and move into our first championship match. Logan Paul will be battling for his technically his 3rd opportunity at championship gold within WWE, but this will be the first one that you feel like, he's the possibly the betting favorite as he takes on WWE Hall of Famer and current United States Champion Rey Mysterio. Mysterio, through circumstances maybe a little beyond his control, ends up winning the United States Championship by taking advantage of a situation in which his LWO partner Santos Escobar ultimately gets injured. Rey claims the victory and has been actually defending and holding on to the title pretty well throughout his several months as champion. Logan Paul, though, is one that has been itching for that opportunity to get his hands on WWE Gold. He actually just won a fight a couple of weeks ago, ironically over in that same neck of the woods. So Logan Paul has already got a lot of media hype, first of all, wherever he goes, but definitely over in that Saudi Arabian direction. Rey Mysterio, not as well-versed, but obviously very well-known worldwide because of his long history and his tenure in the wrestling ring. This one could very well quietly be one of the better matches of the night with 2 very good high flyers going out there. The younger Logan Paul against the wily veteran in terms of Rey Mysterio. So Alyssa, we'll start with you. Thoughts on just the overall hype of this match and the fact that they're really doing this through social media more than actually face-to-face in the ring.
I was about to say, I like the fact that it's kind of like that, and I like that they take that approach for most of Logan's things, because you got to think, that's how we got Bye-Bye Bitch, that's how we got a lot of fun things. So I like that they take his background and how he's in social media and they use that to like hype up his matches. I also look forward to seeing the high flying, the high energy, like energy that the two of them bring. Now, my favorite thing to always hear whenever Ray fights is, "Oh look, he conveniently landed on the second row."
Oh, look, he's on the middle rope. Wow, how did that happen? That's never happened before. You never see anybody else do that.
So I look forward to hearing that 2 or 3 times.
No, because you know he's going to kick out of the first one.
Oh, exactly. Come on now. Or he'll move or something.
Exactly. No one ever gets hit on the first one.
Absolutely. But this is one of those that I'm definitely looking forward to. Just because, like, you feel like you know how it's going to go, but then they could absolutely throw, like, a complete wrench in
this is your monkey wrench match.
Yes.
Because all the other ones, you look at it, but you kind of have an idea on which way you think it might lean, but yet this is the one where I really am kind of in the same boat, where I have no clue which way this one's going to go, because it makes sense for Ray to retain,
Exactly.
but also imagine the hype that Logan could bring if he's sitting here for the next 3 months, walking around with the United States Championship wherever he goes. He would have another fight between now and then, and you possibly could have him hold the title all the way up to maybe around the Royal Rumble, maybe even to Mania.
Wow.
And, would certainly bring some of the hype, although you have to question that if you're going to do that in combination with Roman Reigns also missing from SmackDown a lot of the times, now you've got both champions on SmackDown missing on a regular basis, so Logan's going to have to be prepared to show up for work, either that or Roman, one of the two. Both should be at work. Let's just call it what it is.
Roman has earned his well-deserved time, okay? Let the man go be off with his family and his children and his friends and do him, and let him come back rejuvenated, hopefully with longer hair, stronger facial hair, and everything else.
For the love of Lord.
What?
You sat him, you said his children. It's like, we already know he's...
I don't
never mind, this is the children. We have children watching the show. Let me stop that sentence right there.
Please and thank you.
Triplets. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Kia, your thoughts on the hype that's coming with this match?
I actually am excited. I can't wait to see it. Of course, I'm going to be seeing it late, so that is what it is. I feel like Logan Paul has more than proven himself time and time again. And as far as his background and having to prove himself, that's all he's done in his career and growing up and so forth and so on, is proven himself. As far as Ray, we all know how much I love Ray. I love an underdog, and I feel like at this point, I don't feel like Ray is really the underdog in this story. I honestly feel like he is probably on the same playing field as, if not Logan Paul, if not a little bit better, because he's been around longer and he's done this longer, and he's a veteran showing, the rookie, because I feel like Logan Paul is still kind of like a rookie in this, that, hey, just because I'm short and I'm a little older and I might be a little slower, don't mean I can't beat up on you like I would, like he did Dom before Dom left and whatnot. But anyway, I'm ranting. Moving on.
Well, I mean, you look at everything else and you hit the nail kind of on the head. Uh-oh. Are we back? Did we stay? Yay, we did. I guess we hiccuped there for a second. Welcome to Doing Things Live.
Whoop, whoop.
Yay. Our internet hiccuped there for a second. It scared me. But either way, we'll move on to our picks here. Alyssa, you're up first, so fire away.
So I put a lot of thought into this one. We're just gonna keep this brief. I think it's gonna go with Logan.
Logan?
I think so. I think this is where, because you got to think, he's gone to the top of every mountain. He's got knocked off, but this one's a little more. I think this one would be more even than his other 2 big matches,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's learned a lot from his other 2 big matches, going with Roman and going with Seth, and I feel like he's finally gonna try and put it together.
I think his match with Roman from last year, I think, was him, calling his shot, calling the Babe Ruth, I'm calling the home run kind of thing here. I mean, and he went for the biggest dog in the yard, and he gave Roman everything he could handle. He came up short, but, he proved on that day that not only did he belong in a ring, but also he could go up against the best of the best.
Yeah.
And now you're going up, because I don't think there's much question that Roman's going to be a Hall of Famer when he's done. Rey Mysterio already is. But I'm going to agree with that. I'm actually going to go with Logan Paul as well. I don't know if it's going to be just because of the fact that he's going to show up with a plan. I don't know if KSI will have anything to do with this. It didn't go so well the last time that he showed up. But essentially, I do feel like the hype that would come with him being able to walk around, be on, like Pat McAfee show with the United States Championship, I think would be something. And it's a loss that Rey Mysterio is a person who can afford to take that kind of loss, and it's not going to hurt his prestige or hurt his status. So I like Paul in this one as well.
All right, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to stick to it being Rey, because I feel like, we have had Rey do his thing with or without help. I feel like if KSI, who won't stay in the back and will get hurt again, decides to interfere, I feel like LWO will be there, especially Carlito. I would like to see another Carlito interference, or Zelina, or,
That's what Zelina's going to wear.
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to that. It's just like the whole Scarlet thing. Either way, I feel like Rey's going to retain, and he's going to walk away with his title. Sorry, Logan, I love you, but I don't think you're going to get it done.
Gotcha. All right,
I think Cody has a better chance, but he's not even in this match.
Yeah, well, we'll be seeing him here in a little bit. So not quite yet, though, as we move on to our third match. Drop that here, reset. So we're going to go ahead and move into the first of what will be two good women's matches on the card. This one is for the WWE Women's Championship over on SmackDown, and it is the rematch that we all knew inevitably was coming at Crown Jewel, as Io Sky, by the virtue of a Money in the Bank cash-in way back at SummerSlam, taking the championship off of Bianca Belair. She has the longest and shortest championship reigns in women's history. But she is determined to get payback, putting the blame on Damage Control for her getting injured and for her not being able to get back as quickly as she liked. But she's shown up. She looks stronger. She looks better than ever. Had a couple of tattoos removed, and she wasn't happy about that. But you're also starting to see perhaps the start of the Bianca Belair heel turn as she gets ready to try to re-challenge for the WWE Women's Championship against Damage Control's champion Io Sky. Io, because of the fact that she won by virtue of Money in the Bank, it's always kind of questionable as to whether she's going to end up being a legitimate champion or whether it's going to be a 2-week off and then they're going to put it back on Charlotte. But yet Io has gone up against Charlotte, has gone up against Asuka. She has taken on any and all comers, and she's even completed just recently a triple threat match that also involved Bianca and ultimately was able to come out the victor as well. So Io has proven that she is capable of being able to go up against the best that the Blue Brand has to offer and still do well. We'll turn to Kia here to start things off, but first Bianca's back, and Io faces in arguably her toughest challenge to date. Initial thoughts on this one, especially with the Saudi Arabian vibe?
I want to see what they're going to wear. I know they have to be fully covered, but I want to see what both of them are going to wear. I can't
well,
wait
they're
for
going
that.
to make it just look sporty.
Of course. Like you said, and you brought it up, before Bianca got injured, she was kind of turning to the dark side, so I want to see if that still follows suit, and I want to see if she comes out and... He made a Star Wars reference, everybody, so in case y'all did not hear that, yeah. I want to see how it's going to turn out. I want to see, is she prepared mentally? Is she ready physically, emotionally, verbally? Is she going to come back, faster, stronger, better, the bestest, whatever, against Io? Because Io literally has been killing it left and right, even with interference from Bayley. And I get Bayley has done everything in her power to help in the Bayley way, but I feel like sometimes I feel like it's hindrance. She's interfering, and I need to see that Io can do it on her own. And it is what it is. But I'm excited for this match. I can't wait for this match. And yeah, I don't even know my pick. That's the thing. I like both of them.
Well, you got about 3 minutes to come up with that. And of course, you bring up the fact that Io's been killing it. Let's also recall that this is not the first time this year we've seen this at a premium live event. These two faced each other at Backlash back in Puerto Rico. Yeah. And I'd argue right now it's my match of the year. Because a lot of people are going to say it's going to be Rhea and Charlotte from WrestleMania. No disrespect to that match, but I sat live at both of those events. That crowd was insane for Io Sky in that match, and you could tell it bothered Bianca throughout the match because the crowd, went 100% behind Io despite the fact that Io was playing the heel role in this particular one, and technically she still is, so you wonder if the international crowd is going to do this to Bianca again. But, I mean, the crowd was absolutely over for that particular match, a match that Bianca pulled out by the skin of her teeth with, albeit a little bit of interference gone south by Bayley. But now Io's the one holding the gold and the champion's advantage. So now how do you feel it leans now that the belt is on the other waist, if you will?
I don't know. I'm like, at first, like, watching initially, I was like, they're going to put it on Io. And, like, watching, like, I guess I shouldn't say they're going to put it on Io because I knew she was holding the briefcase. But, like, I was like, I wonder what they'll do with her. Because I couldn't tell whether they'd be like, okay, we're going to put it on her. She's going to be legit. Like, she's going to come out here and whoop Asuka, come out here and whoop Charlotte, come out here and win triple threats and stuff like that. Or if they'd go the other way and just, like, let Bayley take advantage and like, have it, like, go that way. And I have been pleasantly surprised this entire time. That girl be out there whooping up there, down in the ring, on the ropes, off the ropes. I'm just like...
A little bit of everything.
Golly. But, I mean, I just know this is going to be a... Oh, I'm glad I didn't say that. I just know this is going to be a fun match to watch. And I am excited to see the show that they put on because, like you said, watching them in Puerto Rico, I was like, wow.
Oh, the roof was torn off. Bad Bunny's reaction that night was the only one that was louder than that match. It was deafening in that building. Ooh. Like I'm still have tinnitus because of it. But you know, no one questions the skill of these two. We know how they both tore houses down in NXT. They've come up to the main roster and have looked fantastic. You know, and I think Io is getting the legit title run that, you know, everyone hoped she would get from, you know, being unlike other previous Money in the Bank winners, which was, you know, 2 weeks and you're done, a la Nikki ASH, and now she's a plastic head underneath a Halloween table. But we're not ready for that discussion. Moving to our picks, I open things up here. This one breaks my heart to have to do it because y'all know I love me some Bianca Belair. But this has a bigger story to tell, and it's going to be more about Bianca's evolution as she continues her downward spiral. I do think there'll be a little hook and crook involved with damage control. Bayley's been doing a lot better as of late, but I do believe Io retains here.
That's so I'm going to kind of like piggyback off that. I was going to say the same thing. I don't see Io losing as of right now. If anything, I think she could hold it another few months and she would be good. I mean, my thing with that is I want to see the downward spiral of Bianca, but at the same time, I want to see someone come in and mentor her in being a darker version of herself.
Jade Cargill.
It'd be nice for it to be Jade. It could be, and when she comes back from that spiral, I feel like Becky would probably be the best person since they've gotten that closeness, and I feel like they have that respect for each other. But I'm going to say Io.
All I know is the place goes ballistic if Bianca wins this match and then Jade comes out and they do a stare down. Like in front of that hype crowd, and Jade goes, "Good, you're the one I was hoping for."
I don't feel like it's gonna be like Bianca and Sasha. I don't feel like it's gonna be like that.
I think it's gonna be better than Bianca and Sasha, and that's pushing something, and that is absolutely saying something considering we've got that up there. Alyssa, your thoughts and pick as you hold the new gold, hey, shiny.
I'm kind of torn because y'all know we love Bianca. It's like, that's like, oh my gosh. But it's like, I feel like she has to go through, like, because, you know, everybody had their complaints about her holding it for too long. And everybody thought it was so stale, this, that, and the third. So I think it's time for her to go. Now that she's had her time off, go down there, reinvent, you know, start turning heel, and then just come back and run through everybody. So I like Io to retain.
But you think Bianca's getting there at some stage?
Absolutely. That girl's going to take everybody to the woodshed.
This is not her moment, but you're starting to see the turn to the Dark Super Saiyan or
those
whatever you want
hands
to go.
will be E for everyone.
Oh, goodness.
Don't play with her. But yeah.
All right, so Io across the board on this one. You know, a good little run so far. A little bit of parity on a few of our picks, so I can be at least happy with that. I know we had one live event a couple of weeks ago where it was like, we picked the same everywhere. But it is what it is. We move into our fourth of what is 8 matches on the card. This one's a non-title. His name was brought up earlier, so now we're going to finally get him into the conversation here, as we will have another Judgment Day versus
Good guy.
good guy faction, the Justice League or whatever you want, the American Justice League, as I guess the group's resident Captain America here, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Star Wars and Marvel have both found their way into this one. We are getting sued.
No, you
Disney's
getting
about to
sued.
get us.
You getting sued. I'm not getting sued with you.
But the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, going one-on-one with one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions and Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Not the first time we've seen these two go head-to-head. These guys have had a problem with each other for quite some time. But really, you're starting to see Cody be the one that is starting to say, like, Damian, what are you doing? Everybody else is doing fine. Even Dominic's doing great. Even JD's doing great. What are you doing? Because you can't get a win to save your life right now. But you're holding Money in the Bank. You are this close to immortality, and now I'm about to push you to a limit that you don't necessarily know you have, but you need to find if you want to take that title off of either Seth or off of Roman.
Yeah.
Or Gunther or whoever it is he chooses to go after now that all titles are available. So Cody finally has had enough of Damian sitting here going, you are fantastic on your own. You didn't need to go take a chair to my leg to prove that. Mm-hmm. And now, for the second year in a row, we see Cody injured going into Saudi Arabia. He didn't do well against the Beast last time. But, he's going to go in there and he's going to fight until he can't fight no more. So we'll see if Damian is ready for the challenge. That is the American Nightmare. Alyssa, we start with you. Fire off wherever you like.
I'm just going to say the promo that he put on Friday night, like when he was sitting there telling Damian about that.
That was Monday.
Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me.
They're on Raw.
My brain, forgive me. I'm tired. But no, the promo that he put on really gave, and maybe I'm just Delulu because that is the Salulu. But it really gave, when Roman told him like that. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you're just like, dang, you really coming for this man's neck right now. While he was trying to come for your foot. That is wild to me. And it just made me, I was kind of teeter-tottering. I was like, I don't know who I'm going to go for. I don't know what I'm going to pick. They're both going to do great,
Well, I don't think you were as hyped for the match prior to that promo, but that promo put you right back in your seat.
Oh. And in that level of that promo, oh dear Lord, I was just like, who is this man? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I'm picking him. So, yeah. But, yeah. He really, I don't know. I'm reinvested.
And I think I think a lot of people were surprised but okay with Damian Priest getting Money in the Bank a couple of months ago. But I think now, of course, the question mark is going to be the same question we had with EO, and that is, well, A, when's he going to cash in? Who's he cashing in on? Is it possibly Saturday? Is he waiting for the Roman LA Knight winner? Is he waiting on the Seth Drew winner? Is that a situation where Drew, we ran the story about, he blames the bloodline for a couple of his losses. Well, now all of a sudden, could he win, but then have the Judgment Day be the one that cost him, and now he's got someone to blame again. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, but you can see the promo hyping up Damian in terms of what you need him to be if he is going to be a world champion in this business. So now we spin to you, and looking at the new, now hyped up and fired up Damian, who now has been verbally embarrassed by Cody. Does he show up in Saudi Arabia with just a little extra fire underneath him, considering that the Judgment Day is looking at him right now and saying, look, you're the only one not getting it done right now.
Okay, first of all, he was embarrassed by Bad Bunny, so that should have done something too. And two, now to be embarrassed by the American Nightmare Cody, I hope that those fires are lit up under him for him to do something, because it's all great, it's all this, it's all that, but Rhea and Dom are literally Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Finn has JD. JD has been coming out there and doing what he needs to do. Finn has been doing what he needs to do. It's flipped now. It's Finn wasn't really getting much done, and now it's Priest who's holding Money in the Bank. I'm hoping Cody's speech has lit a fire up underneath him, and hopefully he'll bring that to Saudi Arabia and he will get it done. I just don't I don't know where I'm going with this, but Cody did look really good, even though he was hobbling out there to the ring to make his speech known, and he's injured again for the second time, which that's not going to stop because this man fought with a torn pec that looked discolored as everything, and he still
broken arm.
And his broken arm, and he still whipped Seth 3 times. No offense, Seth.
He's going to be a cyborg here at some point.
He
might already be. You know, we don't know that yet because the first rule of robotics. You know, if you are a robot, you can't tell them he's a robot.
That is so funny that y'all would say that because if y'all would look at Arrow, y'all would see him.
Oh Lord! Now we've introduced Arrow. That's DC though. But we're finding a way though. We are bringing a lot of good references into the show. I am proud of us. Meanwhile, we are absolutely getting sued. Please don't sue us. Trademarks wherever they need to go. 5 seconds left on our clock. We absolutely did well to eat up all the time on this one. Kia, you're up first. Quick pick. Who are you going with?
For once, I don't have on a Cody shirt, but we all know I'm picking Cody. I'm going to ride
Shotzi.
Yeah, I have Shotzi, and then underneath this is Seth. I'm going to ride that train till the wheels fall off, and they'll never fall off.
Toot toot.
There we go.
Cody?
Yep.
I'm going to go Cody, too. Bump it. I'm going to go Cody, too. You can't bring that much of a promo and to get your ass whooped. That's not how this works.
I think
negative.
I think Cody. I think Cody losing last time they were in Saudi Arabia, I think would be why he goes over. Also, I think this would be the perfect opportunity for you to possibly work that whole Judgment Day finally makes his move. I see Damian losing tonight or losing on that evening, but then using the cash in later because you still have that fire and everything else. Because what's better than holding Money in the Bank than holding the World Heavyweight title or holding the Undisputed Universal title as well? So I could definitely see that moment happening, but I'm going Cody as well. I think you've hyped him up too much, and you need him, especially if he's going to finish the story. He needs to start picking up some W's along the way.
Here's my thing with that. You've had Bad Bunny embarrass you. Your group is kind of embarrassing you a little bit. Cody's made his comments. The next thing you're going to hear is Seth and Roman making their comments. And they're at this point, they're immortal. They're like gods, 2/3 of the Shield, And at this point, once you get embarrassed by all those people, that should tell you something, homeboy.
Well, the one thing you'll notice, though, and I'm going to be real brief and then we're moving into the next one, historically, the Money in the Bank winner typically goes on a little bit of a losing run before they put the championship on them. You very rarely, with the exception of, the women's cash-in that happened an hour after, you typically see them go on a little bit of a lull and a little bit of a losing run before, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're champ, and then they're not touched for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it'll be curious to see because Damian doesn't give off the vibe at, it's 6'6", and the guy of his size doesn't give off the vibe of a person who's going to drop the title very easily once, if and when he wins it.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. Reset the clock, already did that. So we are now moving into the back half of our show here, and let's move into our only multi-person match of the evening, and that is a fatal 5-way for the Women's World Championship over here to Kia's right. Another new one that we're going to bust out on our show here for the first time. Nice and shiny. Look at that,
all
pal.
the details.
I'm serious. If you haven't had a chance to see this, I took some close-up photos. It's on our social media. Definitely take a second, but they really put some good detail into these new championship belts for the Raw side. But currently held by Mommy, Rhea Ripley. Speaking of the Judgment Day, it seems like we can't get them out of our heads. But I think without a doubt, this will be the toughest fight of her championship reign up to the stage that started all the way back at Mania, as she will battle 4 of Monday Night Raw's toughest, the returning immovable object, irresistible force, whatever you want to call her, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, who has already had many good wars with Rhea Ripley, the now kick-ass take names, arm taker Shayna Baszler, and now the new fighting strength spirit of Zoey Stark after she successfully was able to turn on Trish Stratus a couple of months ago, and now you're seeing the new darker Zoey who's ready to take that next step. 5-way rules, first pin or submission takes the championship, so Rhea does not have to be involved in the decision to lose her championship, but it also means no disqualification, so you would wonder if if Dominic's going to come out there and probably get his ass handed to him by several women at once, but could possibly play a role in all of this at the end of the day.
Let me go ahead and put it out there for you. I feel like Nia being back is a good thing, honestly, because if you look at that whole entire setup, she's run through literally everybody. And that and
Anybody see her post? Sat on her face.
Yes.
She ran into me, and then I sat on her face.
Exactly. She has literally come back, and she has mowed. She has been the irresistible force that she needs to be to get there. And I feel like she's kind of sowing her seeds, telling Rhea, "Hey, I'm back. I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you." I feel like they're at each other's heights. I feel like they can take each other to the woodshed. But I honestly, with all the love in the world to Rhea, this will be the toughest because she's having to face everybody else. She's already hated in the locker room. She's already looked at as being kind of weak because she's not really playing a role except for being mommy and holding the title. And she's like, you might as well say she's the leader to Judgment Day, you know?
I don't think there's much debate there.
Mommy
runs it.
Yeah, she runs that group. I mean, you need a good woman in the front to run the group, not behind you rolling. She don't roll her eyes at anybody. But I feel like she's going to have the fight of her life. So I really want to see all that talk that's getting to her. Oh, you're the weak link of da 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 da. It's got to be one or the other. It's got to be either Priest or Rhea, and I don't see Rhea being the weak link in Judgment Day. You know what I mean?
Sure. Let's go for it.
I'm kind of like in a state because I'm like, okay, I'm taking each person individually. I'm like, okay, Raquel has had multiple chances to go up against Rhea. You know, she's faced a lot of the women in here. She got sat on by Nia. And then you have Shayna, who be out here whooping behind, taking names, you know.
Taking arms.
Finally showing what y'all have been talking about. And it is, I love seeing that. And it's wonderful to see that. I'm glad to see Zoey got out of Trish's
trance.
Yeah,
Shoutout.
And she's finally kind of found her own footing. But I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's going one of two ways. It's going either Rhea's gonna retain, she's gonna come out being the beast that we know she is, and she's gonna prove it to all four of the women in there, or Nia's about to sit on everybody in their moment in this match. And I feel like it's going one of those two ways because it's like the other three have done what they need to do. They have gone out, they have won, they have made whatever evolution they need to make. But it's just like those other two, I feel like they're on a different level. Like Nia has come back and she has literally run through everyone. I'm like, train Nia, same thing, just boop, just run you over. So it's like I feel like it's gonna go one of those two ways. I'm just not really sure which way I'm going yet.
So here's the thing with that. I like that you pointed those two out. My thing is, out of everybody in this match, nothing against the other three women, Nia has been in a match with men and has literally taken them to the wood cleaners, hands down. And she faced off with Randy Orton, stared him down or whatever.
She took an RKO during
There you go.
Royal Rumble from Randy Orton a couple of years ago.
There you go. And I feel like Rhea...
That was after she eliminated like 6 people from the men's Rumble.
Dang.
Yeah, and I feel like Rhea, she has been playing that game of she can take out anybody she wants to. I still want to see that whole her and Solo go head to head. I hadn't forgotten about that, girl. I know you got that.
We're still there.
We're absolutely still
We're
there.
still there.
So yeah, so I feel like these two, nothing against Shayna. Y'all know I love me some Shayna. Zoey has come into her own. She has gotten out from underneath Trish and that trance she put on her, so forth and so on. And Raquel, you know, you my hometown girl. You are one of the baddest. But baby, I need you to go sit down. Okay.
This is not the one.
This is not
you
the
had
one.
You had your shot.
Shayna, do the same thing. Zoey, do the same thing. I honestly don't understand why it's just not going to be those two facing off head to head. But I'm going to say no more.
I'm thinking you're saving that for later on, and I'm also looking at the fact that anyone who hasn't already looked a little bit ahead, and this is going to be my quick hype. What is the next live event after this one? Anybody? Survivor Series.
That was just
and
a guess.
The Raw and SmackDown head-to-head is back at it again. Well, who are going to be the 5 women on Raw that are likely going to have to represent the red brand? They're going to beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah.
And then in 3 weeks, they're going to have to find a way to work together for representing their brand, regardless of who wins. So you are hyping up the women that most likely are going to be your representatives at Survivor Series, representing the Raw brand in that Survivor Series elimination match. So, you know, I'm along the same lines of where the two of you are. and that I do think Rhea and Nia are the betting favorites. But this also has the perfect opportunity to present that swerve to let a person take advantage of that chaos and win a championship that normally they wouldn't be able to win in a one-on-one situation, a la possibly a Zoey Stark here, because she would have the speed advantage over anybody else in this match, albeit not the power one. But we got to move to our picks. We've already used up all our time. Alyssa, you're up first.
I'm going to go Rhea.
Rhea retains.
I'm going to go Rhea retains. You need to add that credibility. Like, because we all know she doesn't really have that big, like, victory, like, that's just like, dang, that girl is mommy for real. Like, she's got that back up with Dominic. We have that side, but I think this will add that last thread of credibility to be like, that's your woman right there.
Your big win for her was the match she wanted by the classic she had with Charlotte. And you still have the big rivalries, say, with Bianca Belair and with Jade Cargill possibly still sitting up into the future. So I agree, she does need that big win, and I'm going to go along the same lines here that I think that's the direction this is going as well. You get her that hype, you get her that big win while introducing the names on the red brand that are going to be the challengers to Rhea going forward. But I do think it will be a situation where maybe Nia does all the work, and then Rhea's the one who is going to stand back and is going to wait for her moment. But I do think Ripley walks out with the championship.
Yeah.
That was a very deep-ass sigh.
So why bring Nia back? All these other women have gone up against Rhea. All these other women have tried to, get that title off of Rhea, and nobody has really done the job. I get Rhea needs that credibility. She needs that threat. But right now, the biggest threat you have is Nia. So for me, I love Rhea. I really do. But I'm going to pull for Nia to win this. And she better not do all the work and then have Rhea take all the credit, because, child, I'm not about that.
Well, also you look at one thing that kind of just came into my head here that, we can bring up on this matter is every other member of Judgment Day has had a loss for a championship at some stage and has had to work their way back. Dominic lost his North American Championship for a couple of days. The Finn Balor and Damian Priest lost the tag team titles and had to go win them back. Rhea's the only one that has held serve up to this point, so maybe this is her moment where she's going to have a small slip because of maybe Dominic or maybe JD, and maybe that's the final thread in his request here. But ultimately, maybe this is her slip as well, and it would be Nia would be a good choice to, take over that. So, there's a story there if you want to go that direction as well.
I do.
But let's move into this match number 6. This one, let's call this, we love to discuss long-term storytelling. How's 20 years of long-term storytelling in this particular match as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, John Cena, returns to Saudi Arabia and will have himself his first one-on-one match in Saudi Arabia in close to a decade as he goes one-on-one with Bloodline's Solo Sikoa. Now, for anybody who is still relatively new, but unless you've been living under a rock, Solo Sikoa is the son of former and late WWE superstar Umaga.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. But Umaga, during his run in the early, late 20-aughts into the early 2010s, had a very good undefeated run that was ultimately stopped by John Cena. Now, John Cena, WWE champion, prime John Cena at his time, maybe an only title reign, maybe like 6 or 7 at the time.
Prime cut.
He's still good looking, despite the hair looking very similar to mine.
Stop it.
But ultimately, Umaga's career, was a good one, but it was he never quite had that same, just awe-inspire around him after he took that loss to Cena. Solo has gotten a very similar push. He had this very strong run in NXT, has come up, and he has been the muscle of the Bloodline. Of course, everyone is well aware of his history of helping Roman retain his championships and helping his brothers, before they each went their own directions in terms of helping them hold tag team gold. But Solo now getting an opportunity to have the spotlight clearly on himself as he takes on who WWE feels is the greatest person ever to grace the ring in John Cena. Cena, I mean, is ageless, you know, and what he comes with. We know the hype that is going to come from the crowd. Obviously, you know, he's going to have followers wherever he goes. The merch sale will be through the roof, and our son will be jumping around the house somewhere, even if he's not necessarily watching. But you can't get much more long-term storytelling than this, as the son of Umaga now gets an opportunity to have a one-on-one premium live event match against one of his father's greatest rivals, who is still around to be able to take on him at the same time. So Kia went first on the last one, so we'll let Alyssa roll off this one. But this should be fun, past and present. But you know, Cena still trying to, you know, work his way to, you know, number 17.
I was about to say, how legit do we think that is? Because I feel like that's gonna.
He said himself he thinks he's got one more title reign left in him. He thinks it's still in there. I don't know if they'll give it to him. I still, in my heart of hearts, think Charlotte will be ultimately the one who's going to have the most when all of it's said and done. Yeah. But on the men's side, I do think they'll push for Cena to get one more, and maybe this is the start of that.
I'm just like, I feel like this is the crossroad where it starts. I feel like if they're going to give it to him, he'll beat Solo, because Solo is a beast, like, muscle, like, yes. But I also feel like he could put Solo over and make Solo that credible threat, because you see, everybody that's gone over John Cena has gone like.
Well, you saw the push that Theory got, you know, and granted his push has kind of stopped.
Yeah, well,
you know, but that wasn't because of Cena.
Exactly.
You know, and even Grayson Waller got himself a very good run, you know, down there once Cena got involved. I mean, Cena raises your level, and look at, I mean, if you need living proof of that, look at LA Knight right now. Knight had it, was building on it, but then Cena came in and it went to a whole nother level, and now he's main eventing tonight. We'll be seeing him here in a little bit.
Let's not forget, he also helped to put Roman over.
Yep.
He also helped to put Seth over. He also helped to put Dean over when he was here. Cena is good for putting people over because he has that experience. He has that commanding presence. He has, and he knows who's going to be best for this business when he's gone, Randy's gone, everybody, like Ray's gone. He knows. He's looking at the future, and what better way than to actually go head-to-head with, you know, Solo, who may, again, Umaga, rest in peace, is fighting. I feel like he's fighting for his father. I feel like he's fighting for, if anything else, that is the lone thing I feel like he could be fighting for. So I feel like if he knows the history, like you know the history, and I know the history, and I know you're going to learn the history, he's going to go in there and he's going to demolish John Cena. And I'm sorry to Cena that has to happen, but I need you to do this one more time. I need you to put Solo over, because I feel like he has more than earned his, you know, he's done NXT, he's done everything he's been asked, no questions, no, not even a smirk. That should tell you this man is serious about... That should tell you this man is serious. He comes out in no shoes, so you know
with
that
the hooves out.
With the hooves out. You know he about his business, and that thumb is E for everyone. Let's get it. I mean, I know Cena is gonna have to be E for you too, but you faced way worse in the last 20 years of your career. What's one more thing?
Well, I mean, it's interesting that you bring it up before we get to the picks here, that you talk about Cena putting them over. He put over Roman 2 SummerSlams ago and did a wonderful job. Think about who both Usos, once they went on their own, who was the first person that was out there to hype them up, whether it was because I'm commending Jay for going on his own, and Jimmy flat out called him out, you know, on Grayson Waller's show, and it was Cena. And now the last person of the bloodline, Solo, now getting his desserts and getting his stripes here with an opportunity not just to get the Cena rub, if you will, but getting that one-on-one match in front of a stadium that's going to have 50,000 plus people in them. This is the biggest match of Solo's career up to this point, and you're correct that if you want him to be the guy who's going to be the Roman Reigns of the future, who's going to be the Seth Rollins of the future, the next generation, and one of those guys, he needs a big match like this. I'm not necessarily going to say he's ready to win this match yet. You'll find out my pick here in a second. But he needs this spotlight on him, and he needs a story that involves none of the Bloodline members. It'll also be interesting because You know you've got Roman coming up here in a little bit. If Solo's got his own match to worry about, and the Usos aren't allowed there because of questionable choices by one of the Usos behind a wheel, but we're not gonna discuss politics. That means Roman's on his own.
Yeah.
And that's going to make that last one that we talk about here in about 10 minutes a little more interesting. I go first here. I want so badly to take Solo here. I really do. Because I do feel like he's the future here. It's Saudi Arabia, though, and I do feel like he hasn't gotten that big win in a while. I do think Cena's going to go over here.
All right. So, again, I'm not the one beating the street sweepers. I'm picking Solo.
I got to catch up at some point or fall further behind. Eventually, I'll just ride the street sweepers. I'll see y'all at the finish line when I get there.
All right.
Y'all can be waving at me at the finish line when the street sweepers are done cleaning.
Ooh. These are getting like heavier. These are getting like more difficult to choose.
We haven't even hit the final two yet.
I know. All right. Well, either way, I've got to make a choice. I really do see. I'm gonna take Solo. I'm sorry.
Solo?
I'm gonna take Solo.
I mean, it makes the most sense for Solo to go over here because what better win than a win over John Cena?
Yeah.
And also, a little vengeance for Dad, because
Exactly.
Umaga could never get over Cena. That was his kryptonite. How about a little love and a little tribute to Dad, for taking out the guy who. His father could never get past. So, again, long-term storytelling.
I like it.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Move into our co-main event here. I don't necessarily know whether this will be the last match or the second to last, but we're going to start off on Monday Night Raw with the match for the World Heavyweight Championship between two very good fan favorites. I would advise you stretch before you pick that one up. It is heavy. Look at her. Swole! But we wanted to definitely make sure that the strikes are out. She is. Oh Lord, she was ready for this one.
I sure was.
She came hyped for this one.
God.
I sure did. I had to hype my bestie up, even though he ain't my bestie. Alyssa is. So.
The World Heavyweight Championship from Monday Night Raw on the line. As first of all, it makes its top rope spoilers debut. Very shiny. Again, photos of it, close-up photos of the the design and the graphic on it look fantastic. The new Rollins side plates on them as well. We'll go watch Plate Exchange. I got to have a selfless shout out there.
Yeah.
Selfish shout out, I guess.
Good.
But all amidst the storyline, two humongous fan favorites. To me, this is your match of the night. At least in my opinion, I think this is going to be one that you're looking at 30 to 35 minutes of absolute tear the house down, crowd at maximum height. You've got the seat, but you're only going to need the edge of it or the area standing in front of it.
Yeah.
As Seth freaking Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. The story essentially has been Drew saying, I've had all of these opportunities. The biggest win of my career happened in an empty arena. The biggest opportunity for me to win the WWE Championship for the second time, it happened in the Thunderdome in front of TV screens. And then when I finally did get a chance to be back in front of fans, I lost to Bobby Lashley at Mania 37. So he's still waiting on that opportunity. Then he got his opportunity at Clash of the Castle against Roman Reigns, a match that I can tell you on multiple occasions, a certain someone over here thought Roman was done. I thought Roman was done. And yet that was the emergence of Solo Sikoa and ultimately Drew falling at the hands of the Bloodline to Roman Reigns in essentially a home match. So he, Seth has been the one that survived the run of Shinsuke Nakamura, revealing that his back is legitimately injured, and that is a legitimate injury. He has stated on multiple occasions he does need surgery when his time is up, but he's not ready to be done winning or holding the title yet. I'm going to say this with all the love in the world to Shinsuke Nakamura, he is no Drew McIntyre. McIntyre will present an entirely different challenge. He is known, because Rollins is known for having decent power. Drew's stronger. He's known for having decent speed. I'd argue Drew can match him. So there's not going to be much other than using the crowd to his advantage. Maybe, because I don't know how that Saudi Arabian crowd's going to act. Yeah. But Seth, using the mental game, is really the only advantage I feel like he has here against a Drew McIntyre that looks more focused than ever and has even stated himself, hyping up When all us fans love it, he says, "No more broken dreams." He's ready for this fight.
Boy, this one again was another powerful promo. I love the fact that Seth was able to go in that ring and say, "Hey, you sitting over here crying that you didn't get your accomplishments in front of people. People didn't wake up the next day. People are sitting out here worried about
That
COVID,
was a strong promo.
not knowing where their next meal is going to come from, not knowing where their next paycheck is coming
Some
from.
people didn't wake up at all.
Exactly. Like, and you're sitting over here crying about not getting your championships in front of people? Get real. I was like, oh.
That's Seth for you.
Oh.
Seth is very good at knowing where the button is to push.
That man
He's
is
very
wild.
good at it.
Let's not forget.
Riddle.
Exactly.
That man is wild.
I feel like that man's still kind of burning from that comment, but whatever.
That man's just wild. But no, like, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, they go, like, as far as, like, fighting, like, in the match, they match each other. Power, he's strong too. Speed, he's fast too. So I feel like this will definitely be a lot closer than I really do think this is gonna come down to skin and teeth. And
This
I don't know.
This truly could go either way.
This is a throw up.
Throw up. Okay. I feel like again, that is not 54. That is not even 44. For y'all that can hear that in the back, this fool is speeding.
Sorry.
Dude just blew past us in what I'm hoping is an ATV.
That's my stomach when I have Taco Bell.
Oh, for the love of God.
Sorry.
Continue, please.
My stomach when we have Wingstop.
She is not helping.
I told you I have to hype my bestie up. So nothing against Drew. I know he needs this win, but I also had to go online and see the promo everywhere but on Raw that night. If Seth has anything at all, he has that sheer will, determination, and that mental stability to say, I'm going to make you think about how I'm going to beat you. But while I'm making you think about it, I'm going to deliver this powerful promo and hope that you feel this burn that I'm giving you because I can't do it until I get in the ring and actually do it myself. Now, as far as Drew, him and Asuka carried COVID pandemic. We say this every single time this comes up. But as far as Seth, he's carrying ish right now. He's carrying this. The reason his back be hurting is
Because he's carrying Monday Night Raw.
Yes, he is.
He goes to NXT when he needs to. He might show up on SmackDown. Who knows? And he's also carrying his own brand. He's carrying Raw. So his back got to be hurting for real. All I'm saying is, Seth, you got this. I've been supporting you all day with this t-shirt. You of all people, if I don't wear a Cody shirt, y'all gonna see me with a Seth shirt. I'm telling you.
And it's a nice segue because ultimately you ended up going first on this one, so I'm guessing the shirt reveals all?
Oh, yes, sir. It sure will. I mean,
You didn't see the shirt. The belt's blocking it, although... There you go.
Loud and proud.
Loud and proud. Hopefully right or wrong. But we'll see.
I'm going to be right because I'm right on Seth. I'm always right on Seth, just like I'm right on Cody. Well, I was not right on Seth when Cody faced him, but I had Cody.
That killed my entire year. So,
Yeah.
Seth, Alyssa.
Oh, shall. This one is going to be down to the wire. I see multiple kickouts. I see a nice Claymore across. I see a nice stomp coming. Like, I see all of it.
This is not going to be a one finisher and we're done.
No,
one.
this is about to be, I'm taking you to the woodshed. Oh, you thought you were taking me? No, I'm taking you. Surprise, surprise. Exactly. But, yeah, honestly, I would be happy either way. And I definitely see the cash in coming here if it happens.
If it's going to happen. I think this is a great place for it to happen.
Here. So have your cameras ready.
And I can see it arguably against either of them.
Exactly.
Whichever one survives.
I honestly think, though, Seth ain't letting me wrong yet. I'm going with Seth.
Every time we try to pick against Seth,
we end up getting our feelings hurt.
All right, well, I guess I'm setting myself up for disaster then. I'm going for no more broken dreams. I'm going Drew McIntyre here.
I can definitely see it
I
happening,
definitely
though.
see Seth could have lost to Shinsuke Nakamura, and I picked Shinsuke
And
twice.
I did
Twice. And got burned both times because I really thought that was a good segue to him doing so. A loss to Drew McIntyre, especially this Drew McIntyre, is not going to hurt Seth's stock. And it gives him the perfect write-off to be able to go get his surgery, and you're getting it early enough where potentially with the right amount of rehab, you maybe could be back for Mania season. You know, I would hate to see him go under that circumstance, but if he doesn't go now, then you lose out if your back gets worse, and then you possibly lose Mania. And I remember that special they had of how heartbroken he was when he had to give up Mania 32.
Oh gosh.
He was just absolutely in a depression of him losing out on the opportunity to main event that Mania.
I don't think I've ever seen a sadder Seth. Also, quick question: do we see Shinsuke kind of interfering to help Drew?
No, Shinsuke's looking for his next pathway. I don't think he gets involved in this one.
I was
Okay.
about to say, this one has the cash in written with it. And that's why I went Seth, because I'm like, why would he cash in on Drew?
Or maybe he survives, Drew lays him out after, and then add in Judgment Day, and then Damian comes out, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
but you could also see Drew getting his moment only to watch Judgment Day rip it away from him. So I could see both sides here. So I really think I agree, have your camera ready.
Do we think he's going to blame that on Jay too?
Yes,
Probably.
I think he will.
I'm
But
sorry, Jay.
I'm going Drew here. I think Drew needs his win, even if it's short-lived. We'll see if Damian decides to come out after. And I think the order of the matches is going to play a role.
Yeah.
With Damian having a match that night as well, we don't know if he's going to be ready. Remember, Rhea took the briefcase from him
Last time.
when he was getting ready to go out to face the Seth Shinsuke winner, and Mommy had to be the one to go,
No.
not tonight. You're not ready tonight. So, we'll see if that continues to play a role here. But let's move to the main event. The hype is real. Now we'll see if the bright lights are too much for LA Knight, as he will get his big opportunity to battle against the Tribal Chief. First of all, welcome back to the big dog and the head of the table, Roman Reigns. This is where Alyssa gets to show off the shirt this time, as we're finally getting into winter garb, and she's busting out her head of the table. But Roman Reigns returns to defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against the megastar LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight has been as over as anyone has been in the last 6 months.
Yes.
I could argue Jey Uso getting equally as good of a push, but LA Knight has been the person that has been the one demanded. And, I mean, you're bringing him onto Raw. You're bringing him to live events. You're putting him on Grayson Waller. You're putting him, wherever WWE is, LA Knight's been right there. You had him on NXT a couple of weeks ago. You had Cena or Cody bring him out as a referee and whatnot. I mean, they are using LA Knight to his full potential, and this is ultimately the payoff that LA Knight gets for it, is being in the main event against the Tribal Chief. Now, that being said, we all know the strength and the power level that is Roman Reigns, especially in God mode. And now you're getting a very well-rested Roman Reigns. The one weakness you could have with Roman is him having to deal with the bloodline BS that came with that, with the group breaking up, him having to deal with the Civil War. But once he finally put Jay behind him and dealt with the issues with Jimmy for a couple of weeks, he took what he felt was some well-deserved time off, and he let the bloodline decide they're going to go handle things as they need to handle them. But now he's back and is ready to defend it against a person who he feels is running his mouth just a hair too much. So now we're going to see if all of the bark that LA Knight has had, let's see if he has the Zorro bite behind it. That's our kitten, by the way, who is getting bigger and bitier by the day.
Yes.
But essentially, this was the match you knew was going to happen while the iron was hot, and there has been no iron hotter than LA Knight right now. Now we'll see if it culminates in gold. Can he stop the over 1,200-day run of Roman Reigns, or will the run continue? I can hear she desperately needs to get out something.
No, go ahead and let Alyssa go first. This is her match.
This is her match.
By the way, Roman, if you're watching, and I know you have TikTok, please give Alyssa a shout out. Her name is Alyssa. Give her a shout out. She
I would die.
She would melt
I would fall
on the
floor.
spot.
Don't do that.
Please do.
I would die in my seat. But no, We all know how I'm about to start this. Y'all know how much I love the Tribal Chief. Come on now.
There you go.
She has not existed a day on the show in which he has not been your undisputed champion.
Just like it's supposed to be. Now, I done seen a lot of torches come up to fight this man, and LA Knight could be the hottest one. But all the torches have one thing in common. They come up, they get set right back down. He said he gonna do it to you gently, sweetheart.
Oh,
I said, golly.
He had women in wet seats all over the place. Maybe a few men. No. Hey, we don't judge. We don't judge on this show. But let's just say a lot of women were like, "Ooh, I went right into my bad thoughts." Social media went nuts.
I did too, and all I heard, and no offense to Roman, all I heard was Rio in my head.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get back to Roman.
Sweetheart.
Yep.
But yeah, we have been watching. I've been here 2.5 years at this point.
Yep.
Like, I've seen a lot of torches. New torches, old torches, young torches, big torches, small torches, family torches. Everybody got set down, and I'm here for it. And I see it continuing right here.
No disbelief. You don't think the lights are bright enough?
I'm so sorry, and I like LA Knight, I really do, but it's the Tribal Chief.
I just hope that, ultimately, if they are going to choose to continue the run of Roman Reigns, I hope this isn't going to be what is going to start the downfall of the hype that is LA Knight. Because, I don't think it will either, but we've watched as, like, Cody kind of took a small sour turn. You've seen Jay's stock kind of fall off a little bit.
Yeah, but also you see them doing that to go back into it, create new things, and then build themselves back up. Like before, you weren't hearing from Cody sitting there being motivational to Damian, but at that time he wasn't in a place to do that. Mm-hmm. So he had to go down, he had to learn something, and now he can be like, "Hey man, what are you doing, bro?"
Now all of a sudden you're seeing Cody with that confidence back,
with that extra fire. So I think he's got to do it too. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I'm gonna follow that because that was really good, Alyssa.
It was a damn good promo.
It really was.
Yeah.
She had the right motivation.
Swear to God, it's my man, and I'm sticking to it.
I was like, glasses off. I cannot see what's going over there. So as far as LA Knight's concerned, it does take me some time to get behind someone I don't dislike. But I low key like, and I feel LA Knight has done all the right things. You know what? Let's go ahead and say it. Age is just a number. This man does not show his age. He shows his attributes for, first of all, getting the crowd hyped. That's one. And he shows that he can be everywhere he is needed to be. That's two. And he has, he's had people put him over. But I feel like this will be a good challenge for LA Knight. Do I see him winning? He comes close. But do I see him, if he loses, he's going to do the same thing Cody did. He's going to do the same thing Jay did. He's going to do the same thing everybody else has had to do. But I feel like at some point down the line, he will be successful. It'll be him or Cody or Jay who will be coming back after Roman. That is the thing. I see LA Knight literally going up against him, getting to know, hey, I've got to fight this way. I see him learning, and I see him studying, and I see him, if he's not doing that now, he's going to be doing that during the match, because that just seems like what he does. As far as Roman's concerned, glad to have you back. I'm glad you had a good vacation. Whatever you decided to do, that is your business. But I need you to get your affairs in order, and I need you to continue to hold that title, because I cannot see my girlfriend cry again at a PLE. If you lose this,
Usos ripped her heart out.
It really, I cannot, Roman, if you hear me, and I know you do, hold on to that title for as long as humanly possible. Please. Retire
with it. That's the only way I think. That's the only way I say that championship leaves your waist with Alyssa being happy with the end result.
I never said all that. But
well, okay. I'm gonna finish it off with this because we've gone well over time for this particular one, but it is the main event. I'm gonna make one comparison here. First of all, a year ago, LA Knight was a model enthusiast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
Let's remember this for a moment. Again, Dupree, and now he is the hottest star in WWE at this particular moment. This story should look somewhat familiar.
Same.
May I present Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
who was losing to Johnny Knoxville and a giant hand and a mousetrap.
Lord.
And 11 months later, he's main eventing against Roman Reigns as the hottest name in WWE. If you can get the crowd behind your hype, the rest handles itself. And LA Knight knows how to work a crowd. The reason Seth Rollins has been as good for as long as he has is because he knows how to work a crowd both as a good guy and as a bad guy. Cena was able to do it for so many years. That's why he's the GOAT. Roman can do it. He used to not be able to. Now he can with the best of them. They're the reason why these guys are main eventing, and that is because they know the right thing to say and the right thing to do at that particular moment. They both are meant for this moment, and the crowd is going to get blessed with this particular one. I don't think this one's going to take very long, but Alyssa starts off the final pick. Let's go ahead and at least get it official.
Roman Reigns.
I didn't think that one would take terribly
Start
long.
with you. Go ahead.
I'm going Roman Reigns as well. I love the star power that LA Knight has brought, and I do think it's going to continue forward into a championship reign. I'm going to go on a limb. I could see him being the one that I think ends Gunther's run. Because Gunther needs a loss. Granted, that would make him have to move over brands. I don't know how they'd swing that, but, weirder things happen, and let's call it what it is. They don't really follow those rules a lot of times anyway, a la Judgment Day. So I don't think Knight's power stops here, but I don't think he's the one to end the run that's built for Mania or that's built for SummerSlam. Roman retains.
Oh, I agree. Y'all aren't going to hear me with no ifs, ands, buts, or anything. I agree wholeheartedly. Roman will retain his title, as he should. Nothing against LA Knight, but still.
No worries there. So no surprises here. She's not going to turn on Roman for this one.
No.
But either way, what we usually try to keep to about an hour, we're at 122. But we knew this was going to be one of the longer ones. So it is what it is. But, 8 matches and good ones too. I mean, this is a very stacked card. I'm definitely looking forward to this. And they've got to show up and show out, because the 2-week Halloween Havoc that NXT just did was absolutely fantastic. A couple of swerves with some title changes. Carmelo and Dragunov put on another instant classic. And the build of the storyline, not just Baron attacking Ilya after, but also the Trick coming back and leaving us in that cliffhanger of him holding Carmelo's arm, Carmelo looking like he's seen a ghost, but then they hike the camera away before we can find out was it Carmelo or is it someone else, because Wesley also behind the scenes running out from behind a truck and wondering who that was as well. So definitely some stories over on NXT as well. But that brings us to the end of our Crown Jewel show. I appreciate everyone. We appreciate pronoun trouble. Nosotros. Appreciate everyone who came in here. If you're watching the YouTube premiere, you need to follow us on TikTok so you can see this a day sooner. That's one of the privileges we bring of putting this on TikTok Live, is the ability to see this a day sooner. Final thoughts as we head out.
I'm going to go finish cooking dinner because I'm hungry.
What are we having?
It was supposed to be chicken, cheesy, broccoli, and rice, but there was not enough rice, and I don't feel like going to the store on the gas that I have. No jokes, no comments, please. So I decided to put panini in there. So we're having panini, cheesy, rice, chicken,
This will
broccoli.
be interesting.
And we're having garlic bread with it. So yes.
Okay.
Prepare your stomachs.
Are we good with panini? Okay, because I was gonna say I needed a little bit of help on this one to say, like, she's cooking it. She has a better opinion on food than I do. I was gonna say, is this our last show? I don't know, but typically they feed me well. Look at this. But either way, parting thoughts.
I know I say this every time, but I'm gonna say it again. I am super excited for this one.
It's fun.
And
It's
plus
easy
the
to
Tribal
be.
Chief is back.
So what's not to like?
I'm sad. What you mean?
Yeet.
I'm sad.
Oh my
There
goodness.
you go. Either way, that's
Are you like the person that's like, don't get in? I tell you not to get in the van. Don't get in the van. And
until you
Roman
find out
in the
Roman's
van.
driving.
legs hanging out, everything.
Does he still have the Reese's peanut butter? Dang, he still has the cup. But either way, but that's on Saturday. You guys enjoy SmackDown on Friday. We may do a watch along. Haven't quite decided yet, because we're certainly not going to be in Saudi Arabia because they won't provide me with a camel. But it is
I
what
wouldn't do well there. We already know this. Just
No comment. But either way, you guys enjoy the rest of your week. I know it's only Wednesday, but remember to go to the community page, put in your votes as the OTRAs, and represent, because the OTRAs are tied for the lead right now. They need to try to stay ahead as we move further into the second half of the year. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you Saturday.
Bye.
Peace.